Today's episode is brought to you by White Glove Car Wash. Man, it feels like we just never get a break. We go from salt and brine on the roads right into pollen season, and our car never seems to be as clean as we needed it to be. That's where White Glove steps in. They are offering unlimited car wash packages for as low as $20 a month. You can take your car in daily and make sure that it is shiny, squeaky clean like you always want it to be, and not have to worry about cleaning it yourself. And with a satisfaction guarantee, you will never have to worry about it being just right. With locations in Delaware, Pennsylvania, and New Jersey, you are never too far from the glove. Family owned and operated for over 40 years, go out and support small businesses this year and support your car by giving it the best car wash possible. Just ask your phone to take you to White Glove Car Wash and be taken to the nearest location to you, and let them give you the best car wash you have ever experienced.
Welcome to Talking 215, your go-to podcast for everything you need to know about Philly sports. Whether you bleed green, trust the process, fly with the Flyers, or fight with the Fightins, this is the place where we break down Broad Street. Jake, Sean, and Joey deep dive into the heart of Philly sports culture, breaking down games, roster moves, and sharing the stories that make the 215 truly legendary. So grab a cheesesteak, settle in, and let's get to Talking 215. Now here's your host, Jake Biasado.
If your team's not 4-0, don't talk to me. We got the coach, we got Big Sean, and we got the doc, Dr. Mesa from our friends at Delaware Orthopedic Specialists on tonight. Gentlemen, 4-0, one of two remaining undefeated teams, the only undefeated team in the NFC. How are we feeling?
Good.
I feel fine. I mean, listen, as long as Jalen comes out at some point in the middle of this week and says, "Hey, I'm not concussed. I have my bearings completely about me," then I'm fantastic. We're 4-0, one of two teams in the league right now. I can't complain about much. We'll get to what we can complain about, but I can't complain about too much.
You know, I think when you look at it, you have to compare yourself against your peers, right? Because in anything, right? Sports, industry, you know, the company you work for, you got to compare yourself against your peers. And as pissed off as I am at the offense and pass rush, things like that, we're 4-0. Yeah. You look around the league, the Packers were crowned as the golden child. They lost to the Browns. The Bills just struggled with the Saints at home in Buffalo. Yes, they're one of the other undefeated teams. The Ravens, a Super Bowl darling pick, are 1-3, and they're on the cusp of losing even more, losing Lamar Jackson. The Chiefs started 1-2. So I think when you look around the league, comparatively speaking, do we have things to clean up? Yeah, but so does everybody else, and they don't have a 4-0 record.
You forgot the Niners losing to Jacksonville at home.
There you go.
Tough.
Yeah.
Jacksonville. Coach, you're over there in Jacksonville. What's the vibes there? I mean, they're winning games. They honestly should be undefeated, but they're winning ugly.
Hey, so are we. The vibes are Jacksonville here in Duval County, man. I'll tell you what, they went through Urban Meyer and a I don't want to be here Doug Peterson back-to-back era. And so they're finally like, holy shit, like we have some energy. We're excited, you know. So yeah, they're excited. It's the second time they started 3-1, I think, in the last 20 years or something. So
all right, cool. That's enough about them. But when you guys are talking about like Coach, you're saying like, oh, good. Like I feel good about the 4-0 start. Like Kevin Patullo said something interesting in a press conference today that, you know, you're going to hear casuals be like, oh, that's an excuse. They were specifically talking about, you know, Saquon's slow start and what he think you can attribute to that. And he was saying, look, like we're playing familiar teams and good teams to start the season. Like that plays a big role in it. I mean, if you look at it, we started the season with the Cowboys, who obviously we play twice a year, every year. Then we went to the Chiefs, which we played 5 times in the past, 3 years. And then we went to the Rams, who we played 4 times in the past, 2 or 3 years. And then the Bucs, who we've played 5 straight years. Like these are teams that really know our game and know our game style, because thankfully, for the most part, other than changing offensive coordinators, our offense has pretty much been the same. We obviously added Saquon, but our offense has really, really been the same. So it definitely is challenging. Not only, we talked about it last week when Doc was like, oh, well, you know, what if I had told you We started these games. Jalen Hurts is averaging 150 yards. Saquon's averaging 60. AJ Brown only has 1 touchdown. And we're undefeated. What would you think? Yeah, you'd feel damn good about it because we are facing tough competition. And so I'm really curious to see how it goes this Sunday against the Broncos, because the last time we faced them was 2021 when Vic Fangio was the head coach. That's the last time in the Nick Sirianni era that we've played them, and that's obviously 4.5 years ago. So it's going to be a good test of, if that truly is an excuse or not, because it is a very unfamiliar opponent, and they're a decent team. I mean, their offense is strong. They obviously have one of the best corners in the game. They got a decent number of pieces on defense as well. But I just think a lot of people are really harping on, this slow start on offense, and really not looking to the fact that these players and these teams have seen us a lot compared to almost any other team other than divisional opponents, which we did have the Cowboys in there. Any other team, they faced us more than any of them. So they really have a good sense of what we do well. And then you talk to the players and they're saying, they're throwing different things at us than we've seen in years past, because they have that ability to say, hey, we played them 5 times the past 3 years. This didn't work. Let's switch it up to this. They're doing this. So they have that ability to really throw stuff at us that we're not super familiar with, because we're expecting them to play similarly to when we played them the last time.
Okay, but we've got a brand new offensive coordinator calling plays here. This is the first time they've played Kevin Patullo, and it feels like they've played Kevin Patullo 5 different times. It feels like they've gone up against his play calling twice a season for the last 3-4 seasons. We're winning games, so you're not going to catch me complaining about too much. And before we even reflect too much on the offense, give a quick little shout out to the special teams, right? Keeping us in these games and certainly winning 1, if not 2 of them so far into the season. But you got to see a little more from Patullo, right? You got to see a little more. The offensive line has been a little shaky to start off, right? Dickerson isn't himself. Lane Johnson's been out. It feels like this is not a cohesive unit at all. At least during run protection. Pass protection, I feel like, has been fine all throughout the first month of the season, but this play calling just feels stale. It feels like they're doing the bare minimum, and you have to wonder how much of that is just lining up and saying, hey, this team's a 99 overall on Madden here. We're just going to beat you any which way by dinking and dunking and happening to convert on third downs. And how much of it is just Patullo not really being an NFL quality offensive coordinator? When do we know?
Sean, you're just talking about you're hoping that Jalen Hurts comes out and says he's not concussed. Up until that hit, was anybody complaining about Kevin Patullo's play calling? Was anybody complaining about the offense in this past game?
For the first 3 weeks of the season versus 1 half.
Yeah, but we saw towards the second half of the Rams game, and then we saw in the first half of this Bucs game. People were like, "Oh yeah, this is great, this is good." Nobody where's the complaints about Patullo now? I mean, we saw essentially 4 quarters of play calling consecutively of very good offense where we were running it very fluidly and it was going great. And then you're saying, you're going to feel fine as long as Jalen Hurts comes out and says he's not concussed. So which one is it? Are you saying that the offense was stale in the second half because Jalen Hurts got concussed, or are you saying that it was on Kevin Patullo?
I'm certainly saying 2 things can be true at the same time, right? I mean, the concussion happened when the offense looked stale for a completely different reason the second half of the last game. Keep in mind, the first half started off with a blocked punt return for a touchdown, right? So, let's not act like this was it was certainly improvement over the first 2.5 games, 2 3/4 of a game. Right, but I think ultimately 2 things can be true at once. I think Kevin Patullo is going through some growing pains, and I need to make sure that my quarterback isn't suffering any sort of permanent brain damage from playing this game.
Then, Coach, I want to ask you: we're what, 9 of 9 or 11 of 11 in the red zone?
11 of 11.
We're 11 of 11 in the red zone. Obviously, play calling is going to play a big part in that. No matter how good your team is, play calling is going to have a big part in that. What's the difference? Why is it that we can be so successful, so consistent in the red zone? Is it just because defense plays differently because they're thinking, oh, the sideline and the back of the end zone is the 12th defender, and we're able to take advantage of that because we have just high quality skill players? Or do you just completely change the playbook on a shortened field? I mean, why are we so good in that red zone comparatively to where you got Sean here saying, oh, is Kevin Patullo even an NFL caliber offensive coordinator?
I think once you get into the red zone, the keys and reads that you look for obviously kind of go away a little bit. So if you're on your own 20 and you see a two deep show, you may want to check to a run, right? Like because you see two safeties back, a lighter box. But when you're in the red zone, it almost doesn't matter where they are. Everything's condensed. So you really have all of your playbook to use. And in the red zone, you could be more aggressive too, because if you're on your own 20 and you're aggressive, you don't get it. Damn it, we got a punt now. So maybe we're trying to get some yards first before we get aggressive. But in the red zone, you're like, hey, if we don't get this, we're already in field goal range. This is a chip shot. So we're playing with house money right now. I think what people keep getting caught up with Patullo is play calling, whereas with me, I think it's play sequencing. When to call the plays, what down to call them on, how to call them. I just think it's so much different than the actual play call itself, because the play calling in the red zone has been brilliant. I mean, we could look at the fake tush push to Dallas Goedert touchdown, the fake tush push running the option to the shovel pass to Goddard. We could look at anything we want to. The Saquon one where he literally walked into the end zone because we fooled him that much. The play calling and sequencing in the red zone has been elite, but I think it's the sum of all parts equaling the whole. Has Patullo's play calling been a little vanilla and head scratching at times? Yes. Has the offensive line, especially the interior with Cam and Landon, been bad? Yes. I really think it has. And when you are not getting any yards on first down in the NFL, now all of a sudden your playbook goes from this to this. Because we're second and long, you know what's coming. We have to throw. And then you're in third and long because you had to check down because they blitzed on second down. So you're in third.
You already know what we're doing on third and down. I mean, every single time we're just running it.
But I'm going to be honest with you guys. I've watched a ton of cut-ups, a ton of clips that other people have posted, went back and rewatched the game, all 22. We need to put some blame on the players that we love to praise too. Like when AJ and Smitty and Dallas aren't getting the ball on a certain play, they're fucking jogging. They're half-assing these routes. If they have a clear-out route, it's kind of like motion, let me get to it. And if you're a smart defense, Todd Bowles runs a great defense. We know that. It's aggressive. It's smart. It's kind of like Vic Fangio where I'm going to trust my smart players. And they see that. You're keying on the guys you're going to have to. This guy's not getting the ball. This guy's not getting the ball. I understand this look. And I'll be honest, Jalen also missed some reads. So I think it's a combination of everything, if I'm being honest.
Doc, I want to get your thoughts on all this. And then, Coach, I have another question for you that I've been dying to ask you all week.
I have a couple thoughts. One is I'm just happy we got out of that hell house intact. And, you know, that's our horror. That's our house of horrors. It was 100 degrees. The defense was gassed. Thank God we had that early lead. And I think that also, you know, we played a very smart team that knows us very well, like you said earlier. And I think just to get a win out there is fantastic. And if you take away the two gunslinger touchdowns, that game would have been a blowout. That pass went through two defenders who should have at least batted it away, 77 yards there. And then the little play, Jahad Campbell just got beat. The one bad play he had cost us a 70-yard touchdown. If you take those away, it's not even a competition. But, you know, you live by the sword and die by the sword. You know, Baker Mayfield's not afraid to throw those dumb picks. And that's what you get with gunslingers. Jalen doesn't want to be that. So he's going to throw the ball 80 yards out of bounds because he's so afraid of the turnover at this point. And you're right. He may have had a head. I watched that replay and went, oof. I thought they were going to pull him because the way he hit the turf and
the way he acted, it looked like he was really, really shook for a good 5 seconds.
I'm surprised they didn't pull him out of that game and at least evaluate him. I mean, I didn't see anything that he did, but, you know, to me, I don't care how we won that game. Getting a win down there is a win, period. And the fact that AJ said anything drives me bananas because we know that's our kryptonite. That's our strongest foe. So, and then you look at the other teams we beat and look at how they're playing. I mean, the Chiefs look great. That's a good win. The Rams look great. You know, we played good teams. And Dallas took the Packers to overtime and tied. So I think we're beating good teams and we're beating ourselves up because we're like, oh, it's not pretty. We're not winning by 40. But you know what? It's the NFL.
Well, Doc, I think what hurts us is just recent memory of that 2023 season where we beat good teams during that stretch.
But it's different. It's different. We have Vic Fangio as our defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
I mean,
our defense is miles better than it was in 2023.
Absolutely. You see the hits. I haven't seen hits like that from the Eagles in probably a decade. They are hitting people, and that pays dividends in the long run. So
did you see that just malicious wipe of the nose of Baker Mayfield for 15 yards? I mean, they were what a joke.
Well, there's no place in any sports for what Coop DeJean did, and I'm surprised he's not suspended for a whole year because he stepped over someone, and there's no.
You want him to step on someone? Because it's not like he did the Allen Iverson. Like his momentum took him, and he stomped his foot down, but he didn't stand him up. He didn't show him up. He walked over a guy, didn't look over his shoulder, didn't even look down at him. Like, what a pathetic display of officiating. Their first 3 drives that resulted in points were awarded to them by the officials.
Yep.
You guys know in every game this year, this is crazy. In every single game this year for the Eagles, we've had a roughing the passer and an unsportsmanlike 2 in every single game. Think about that. Yep. That is insane. Those are drive extenders. Those are just a free 15 yards. And most of them, I don't want to say all of them, most of them seem like they came on 3rd down after an incomplete pass or short, and it's just extended the drive. And I'm like, you guys got to be kidding me.
No, it's just egregious. You can go out and say, oh, we're keeping a closer eye on taunting. That's fine. That is not taunting. No. You go ahead. Nolan Smith, right when he did it, I was like, I like it. I love the energy. I can see why you threw the flag. I disagree with it, but they did tell him hey, we're going to be doing this. I still think it was a bullshit flag, but the Cooper DeJean one was pathetic. And then sure, by the way the rule is written, you can't make any contact, but isn't it no forcible contact to the head and neck area? I believe it's written where it's no forcible contact. None of those were forcible. They were just a swipe across the nose, barely make contact. And look, for everybody talking all this stuff, I mean, Baker is a guy, he'll go up into CJGJ's face. He'll get he'll talk to players and all. Baker's a pussy.
Well,
Baker's a little bitch.
That's my biggest thing is if you look at baseball, for an example, you'll know early on, in the first inning, all right, it's a tight strike zone, or all right, it's a wide strike zone, and it's for everybody. Same thing with basketball. They're letting them play. They're letting them be physical, or, they're not going to let them play today. Hand checking is called a foul, and it's across the board. What I can't stand is how you don't keep that same energy on both sides. There was one of the smaller receivers for the Bucs, Tez Johnson, caught a little screen pass for 7 yards, got up and was pointing, and in the face of 2 Eagles DBs clapping, and I was like, we're not calling the flag. Coop stepped over someone and didn't say anything. We don't get a flag. So I guess that's my biggest thing is if you're going to call it tight for everyone. If you're going to call it loose for everyone.
I loved Sean's tweet after Saquon got hit late out of bounds.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, when he was drug out of bounds.
Yeah, the referee was so quick to jump in hey, guys, don't fight, okay? I know I saw what just happened, okay? I want you guys to break it up. What do you mean break it up? We just throw it. Again, I think all of these flags are total bullshit. I'm amazed that a month into the season, they haven't come together as an officiating crew, as a league, and been okay, we got to dial this back. I just couldn't believe that they had continue to call these drive altering. These are not 5-yard penalties. These are 15 yards and a first down. Yeah. And yet, much to your point, Coach, it feels like these were drives that they were dead to rights. Right, it was that or punt, and it really feels like, and it's a super homer thing to say, but it feels like the league is trying to keep these other teams in the game with us because our defense is that good. It really feels like there is a betting line. Was it a Tim Donaghy out there saying, "Hey, this other team needs to cover each and every week"? You're never going to have enough evidence to support that, but it sure feels like it from time to time.
No, it does. It does.
I'll tell you, talking about covering, a buddy of mine teased Birds minus 6.5. That safety was a rough one.
Wow.
Yeah.
But they had a backdoor cover the week before on the Jordan Davis touchdown.
Yeah, of course. No, I think they took even more points. No, you know what's crazy? Because what did they or did they not kick the extra point after the walk-off? They still kick it, right?
I don't think they did.
No.
Yeah, I think that cost him. It was like 8.5 or something, or 7. I don't know. Either way, doesn't matter.
It feel like any time at the end of these games, you're going, wait a second, like why did the Eagles need a little 30-second commercial timeout before that punt? Like, why did they need to go over this so that they made sure that the punter ran through the back of the end zone and didn't just fall down? Because like at the house, we're all watching it and we're going, just throw the ball in the air.
Yeah, just throw it as high as you
can. I think Jalen was asking that. Did you guys see Jalen talking to Sirianni?
Yeah.
I think that's what he wanted to do.
Just let me stand around back there, and then I'll chuck it 80 yards into the sky. Who cares? Like, so that was just a weird, like, bring out the punt team and run it into the back of the end zone. I don't know. I think this league is just too in bed with the DraftKings, with whatever betting sports app. I don't like it, and it makes me think. It makes me think twice.
Coach, I've been dying to ask you this. Since A.J. Brown has come to Philadelphia, ESPN does an analytic called their open score. So there's a scoring between 0 and 100, and 100 being you could not be more open, to 0 being you're completely covered. A.J. Brown, his first year was a 99 open score with Philadelphia. Since then, up until before this season, he has averaged 92 out of a possible 100. I mean, incredible score. Through the first 4 weeks of the season, A.J. Brown is at 53. You talking about dogging routes, you're talking about, play calling and everything. In your opinion, Coach, you're a big analytics guy. You've been playing semi-professional flag for a long time, world champs. You know what you're talking about here. How much of it is vanilla offense? How much of it is just bad play calling, poor route tree, not giving him any kind of deep developing plays where he can really go out there and show his ability to run routes? And how much of it is actually on A.J. Brown? Has he lost a step? Is he not getting open as well as he was because he just isn't as good as he was?
I don't think it was the last part at all, the loss of step one. I definitely think it's not that. I do think it's a combination of all the other stuff. I think like any wide receiver that's good, he's kind of a diva. And unfortunately, that comes with just about every good wide receiver that there's ever been, right? Outside of maybe like Larry Fitzgerald or something. But to me, AJ's never really been a big separator either. He's been a guy that wins with body control, that wins with, hand-eye coordination, that wins with strength, that wins with just determination. He's not going to be a guy that kind of breaks you off on a post corners open by 20 yards or anything. So like that open score, I also think there's a little bit of flaws in it. Like you can be wide open, but it doesn't take in account for the fact that your center completely whiffed on the tackle and the quarterback has somebody directly in his face. Yeah, you may be open, but now if the quarterback has to flush away from you, that's not really something that you could like count on. So I honestly think, and like I was trying to touch on earlier, I think it's a combination of everything. And yes, I will say too, once he hasn't touched the ball for like 3 quarters, it's going to be tough for him and any receiver to give 110% on a route when, the ball hasn't come your way for 3.5 straight quarters, right? Like you don't really have much motivation to, I'm going to run this 5-yard curl better than I've ever run before. So I really think it's a culmination of everything. I do see a little bit of a statistical flaw in that open metric just because it doesn't take into account like pressures, what the quarterback's first reads are, things like that. So I'm not worried about A.J. Brown. I think he does this every year. He does this every time there's like a bad game. And part of me is like, hey, do this when we're winning and I'm cool. Do this when we're losing. Then I start to be a little bit upset.
No, I'm kind of the opposite. Like, do it when we're losing. Okay, you're like, yeah, I'm a dog. Like, we're losing because you're not getting me the damn ball.
I get that point too.
Like,
I can
do
see
it
that
when
side.
we're winning. It's like you're being a selfish asshole. Like,
We're not winning by. It's not like we're winning by
Tampa.
like 20 though. I think his
But
point
we haven't
is
won
like,
in Tampa. I mean, we've talked about Tampa has our number. Like that is a big win. Like Doc's talking about, like, hey, we got out of hell. Like we left Tampa with a win. That's all that matters. Like, look, time and place, man. Like if it's a 40-point win against the Giants and everybody's getting the rock except for him, be as mad as you want. Like, you know what? It's a rival. Offense was clicking and you weren't a part of it. I understand the frustration. Dude, we're 4-0 against 4 tough games. We just won the game because of you last week. This week, we didn't rely on you. We tried to get it to you. We forced it a little bit. Jalen might have been concussed. Probably wasn't the best play calling. Give the guy a little bit of breathing room. You were just defending him, doing what a good teammate does. And he was doing old coach speak, essentially, just saying, hey, we got a lot of great players. It's not on KP. It's on all of us individually. But then to go out and complain, and who knows, maybe it wasn't about him getting the ball.
Yeah, but I do think there should be no circumstance in the history of professional football where you ever go an entire half completing 0 passes. 0 passes is insane to me. I know there's stats since 2020, 2015, yada, yada. I know all that stuff. But when you have the team that we do, I don't care if you're playing the 85 Bears defense in the snow. There just literally should be no.
So then you as a wide receiver, you have the right to go and complain?
No, I'm not saying that he has the right to complain. I'm saying that he probably has a longer leash to do that just because of the caliber player he is. Do I agree with it? No. But I just wish that we would run an offense that would make sense for the type of players we have. Like, I really, really do. And the 3 targets to him in a row in the fourth quarter, I think, that were all incomplete. Regardless of what y'all think about Emmanuel Acho, I know he can be kind of sensational off the wall and just say what people want to hear. He made a great point that those were like, all right, here, damn throws. Like, fine, here, you want something? All right, here. And the Buccaneers knew it. They were like, they're just trying to get him the ball to make him happy right now. We're going to sit on every hitch and stop route possible. And it was so obvious to everyone. So I think there's fundamental flaws, and I don't think AJ is great at communicating it because Jahan Dotson said something too. Jahan Dotson said offense should not be this hard. And I think it was either Cam Jurgens or Landon said, we're not playing up to our standards. So I think there's frustration.
That's
AJ
a big
doesn't do
difference.
the best job of communicating.
But that's a big difference.
Yeah,
It is, but receivers have that different mentality, I'm telling you.
Yeah, and I think that's true, but you also have to factor in the fact that it's in Jalen's head playing down there and against Todd Bowles, and he doesn't want to be the guy that causes the loss because you know how that would scar him literally for the rest of his career. If he lost that game up 24 to whatever, he would be scarred, and he would be, Bowles would own him for the rest of his career. So I think a lot of that had to do with let's not put Jalen in a position where he's gonna do a Baker Mayfield and throw a lousy pick that ends the game. And I think he knew that too because he was throwing balls I've never seen him throw so far out of bounds it wasn't even questionable. So I think he was playing not to lose. And I think a lot of that's on Jalen. And justifiably so. I think Bowles is in his head. And I think he was like, I just don't want to lose this game. And if AJ doesn't get his catches, so be it. But we're going to walk out of there with the W. And there's flaws.
I can see that.
The game's not, you're right. The offensive line's not playing. The running game didn't get established. And I think when that happens, they know what you're going to do. And that's a smart team. So I just look at it as like, hey, we beat a good team on the road. Move on.
I just hate when he says stuff like that just because you already know how big of a deal Philadelphia is going to make it. And we all love Arthur Juwan Brown here. We're all big AJ guys. I mean, Chris isn't on tonight, unfortunately, but he's as big of an AJ guy as you're going to find. I mean, we all know he's a top 5 wide receiver in the NFL.
Watch the second half of the Rams game. That's all you got to see.
Yeah. Like he is that guy. So like we feel for him, and I know he's a competitor. I mean, he had a post 3 days after the Super Bowl saying like, "Oh, I thought it would be cooler," essentially. Like, but I just am excited to go back out there and compete. So like, he's a guy that wants to be a part of every single win. My issue is at the end of the day, the last word of that sentence is all that matters. Every single win. If it's a win, just shut up. If it's a 40-point win and you're not a part of it, sure.
Yeah, so I just wanted to catch up a little bit, just to piggyback off of that whole separation score from the first month of the season. Keep in mind, he had that hamstring week 1. He probably had a good bit of a hamstring week 2, right? So I can see that that effort kind of tailing off as the game goes on, but make no mistake, that plays a pretty big difference 4 weeks into the season where he got essentially a 0 score, I can imagine, week 1. But I got to say, up until this point, he's made about $7 million at this point into the season. I don't want to hear you complain about a thing. You just went up. Like, context is so important here. You were up 24-6 the first half, going into the halftime, right? This last game. Shortly after, into the third, your quarterback goes down and very well could have gotten another concussion. You're in the huddle with him every single play. If he did get a concussion, he knows it. He knows it just as much as everybody there, that there's the facilities aren't quite there. The quarterback goes in and he's probably like fumbling over his words here. So listen, that hasn't been confirmed. So, but we have a pretty good feeling just looking at some of those targets and his performance in the second half that Jalen wasn't Jalen. Right? It wasn't even any here damn balls. It was like he went on autopilot. I got definitely shades of like Carson Wentz 2018, 2019 vibes.
There was no zip on the passes either. There was no zip at all.
He is such a cerebral football
You'll find
player.
that with concussions, just everything's slow.
And heat.
Yeah, and heat. So it's like, you eked it out, you live to fight another week, and immediately you're complaining. Immediately. Like, listen, there's a reason why it always feels like it's a wide receiver, right? There's no other position on the offense that isn't accomplishing a like surefire set in stone goal each and every play. Your offensive linemen are going against defensive linemen, battling each and every play. Your running back is still getting 12, 15, 20 carries each and every game, right? There's no other position quite like it where you can say you're doing a ton of work for sometimes very little investment. But that is your role. Like, if your job is to win and you're getting paid handsomely to do it, right, might I add, almost $2 million a game to do it, I need you to shut the hell up. I really need you to shut the hell up. Talk to your quarterback, talk to your coach, talk to your offensive coordinator, because talking to me isn't going to fix shit.
Yeah. No, I have no problem if he fucking goes into a meeting with the team and blows up. Yell at Sirianni, yell at Hurts internally. But I think
social media is so bad for players, especially after a tough game.
It's terrible. No, but I mean,
it feels like he's a mouthpiece for WIP. It literally feels like we're 4-0. What are we going to talk about? And Joe Giglio is texting AJ Brown like, "Hey, I got a verse for you. Okay, Ephesians 2, 3-7. Copy paste it. Let's go. I'll talk to you on Tuesday, buddy."
No, Rod Lakin is the biggest fan of AJ Brown right now. He's giving those talking heads just more shit to shovel. And they love doing it. But that's enough time invested into that. Again, we all love AJ Brown. He's top 5 wide receiver. He's going to be. I immediately, when somebody after week 1 threw him up on the trade block on fantasy, immediately acquired him. And he's a must start every week. I'll ride the 3-point weeks knowing that a 30-point week is coming. And he's going to be a big part of this offense. Again, I really think, once we start facing either some lesser competition or competition that's not nearly as familiar with our team as other teams, you're going to be really able to judge whether Kevin Patullo is competent or not, whether play calling is the problem or whether it's effort, whether it's anything. But to go way back when Coach and you were talking about like just guys going out there saying, "Oh, we got really good players out there, but the play calling's not great." I mean, I said on this podcast in 2023, it felt like they were trying to win based on skill, not on scheme. They were just saying, "We got the 11 baddest motherfuckers on offense. We're going to win because we got the 11 baddest on the field," and not putting any kind of real scheme and effort into it. And it's not the case. Like Doc said, this is so different from 2023. Our defense is one of the strengths, if not the strength of our entire team. But it's just tough when it doesn't seem like they can get into that rhythm, build a nice drive or anything. It seems like they revert back to, all right, well, we have A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert, Saquon Barkley. We're going to just force feed it to them, and that's going to win us these games. And we need to get back to just rhythm, figuring out what to do when it's not working, making these adjustments and doing everything like that. But Doc, wanted to talk to you about some injuries before we talk a little Phils as the NLDS is rapidly approaching. Lane Johnson, we all saw, went to the sideline. You knew pretty quickly that it wasn't anything serious, but that he wasn't going back into the game, very similar into week 3. Sounds like the same issue just reared its ugly head again. Is this something now that it's taken him out of the past 2 games that we're going to have to worry about for next week? Or is this something that it's really like, hey, these stingers are weird. By tomorrow, he could be a full participant. It could be something that they're going to have to do some kind of treatment on, exercise stretches for the next 3 weeks.
Well, I think ultimately, I didn't hear that the second one was a stinger. They called it a shoulder injury. So I don't know if it truly was. But if it was, what you have to look at is how long the symptoms last. So the longer they last, the more concerning it is. So if the first one lasted, I don't know, an hour, this week it lasted a little bit longer, then it's a progression. Obviously they're going to do some imaging, make sure there's nothing structural going on, seeing how his neck looks. There are ways to modify it. And like I said before, maybe slightly erroneously, I don't think having a stinger necessarily makes you prone to have multiple stingers unless there's something going on physiologically. In other words, if he's got a narrow spinal canal or something mechanically, but he's played a lot of football. And like I said, I've never seen this happening. So maybe it's an issue of maybe he wasn't fully recovered and he's so damn strong that no one can adequately test him to see if there is slight weakness in that arm. So that if he tells you he's a go, I don't think anybody's going to break him if he has some strength in those arms. So maybe he kind of fooled him a little bit and got him, where there was probably some residual issues. And if there is, and you hit it, it's going to come back pretty quick. So I think that may have been the case. I think he may have not recovered from the first one. And then the slightest, he got it again. He's like, okay, that's it. I'm not going to, run the risk of having a major injury. So I feel it's more a case of he may not have completely recovered from the first one. And I don't think that necessarily means, I think you have to say, okay, we got to make damn sure that you are 100% before you go back out there or start another game.
Is that something that he could become 100% by week 5, or is that something you really got to give him a little while?
Absolutely. Like I said, it boils down to, can they adequately test him and make sure that he truly is where he needs to be? Because I think he will be. I've dealt with a lot of stingers, and the ones that are really troublesome are the ones that they're like profoundly weak. So to the point where he can't hold his arm up. And I don't think that's the case. So I think he'll be out there. I'm pretty confident.
And then, Doc, I saw something interesting on the TV when I was watching Jalen Carter, and he missed a couple of plays. It looked like that shoulder is really bothering him. Yep. And for all the listeners, if you remember what Doc said just last week when we saw him shaking his wrist and everything, and I said, oh, Doc, what do you think's going on with his wrist? You immediately were like, I don't think anything's going on with his wrist. I think something's going on with his shoulder. Yeah. And then just to see that on TV, it's just like, son of a bitch, he's right again.
Yeah, I think he's getting some, a little bit of subluxation in his shoulder. And when that happens, it pinches the nerve and causes your arm to go numb. So your shoulder slides, the nerve gets pinched, you get the dead arm. And you see guys shaking their hands, holding their wrist, which is what Jalen was doing the first time. So that's why I thought it's not his wrist, because it's almost like he was using that as like a sling to hold it up. So I think he's got some shoulder issues, which, I think are manageable, but I think they probably have to somehow like give him a more stable brace or something to help him along. But yeah, you see that. I think 3 weeks we've seen him do it. I've seen it. I saw him do it in the Chiefs game. I saw it do in the Rams game, and now this is the third time. So I think he's just trying to get through, and he's such a great athlete. He can compensate, but I think you need to at least give him some more support in that, in terms of giving him an internal brace that kind of prevents his arm from sliding.
Now, is it something as simple as, hey, if we get this brace on to prevent it, he's good? Or is it something that, hey, in a perfect scenario, if you had somebody come to you and you're saying, hey, best case scenario, we're going to have to hold you out for 2 to 3 weeks?
Yeah, I would say again, you make sure they got the best you can do is say, okay, do you have full range of motion, full strength? And if they do, you say, okay, we'll use a brace. And I would brace them pretty much through the rest of the season just to prevent an injury. A lot of these injuries can wait. Jahad Campbell had shoulder surgery after the season because he probably had a similar issue with his labrum. I think probably what's going to happen is if there is something structural, they're going to try to play him as long as they can and hopefully keep him out there. And with the brace, you can be fairly successful. You're not going to be at 100%, but I think you'll be. I mean, him at 70, I'd take in a heartbeat. So I think that's probably where we're going to wind up. And who knows? I think this may be one like after season's all said and done, they're like, oh, Carter had surgery. Kind of like page 6.
And hear
won't be the
about
headline
after the fact.
Yeah.
Do you think that this could be a cause to why he's not having the hottest start to a season?
Yeah, I think it's scary because you hit it and your arm goes dead and you're thinking, oh my God, what's going on here? And I think that kind of, you want to be like the aggressor, but you hit it and you get that stinger it's not a stinger, but that dead arm. Every time you hit, you're going to be less likely to go full strength.
Doc, I was going to ask if you remember J.J. Watt. He always played with like that bionic. Is that similar to what you're talking about?
Yeah, he had an elbow injury too. But yeah, there's a thing you actually don't see it. It goes underneath, and it basically prevents your shoulder from sliding forward. Basically holds it in place. Shoulder pads are up top. This is more in front to back. And I've had a lot of patients. Like when I see them in high school and college, if they have, if they can get their strength back, and I say you can play, but at the end of the season, we may have to repair this. And I don't know what his history is either with regards to his shoulder. He may have had a previous injury to that shoulder, and it may just be an exacerbation of it. But I would say I've seen it 3 weeks in a row, and I think that there's something going on there.
Coach, you got a question for him about any injuries?
That was really my question. If it was related to J.J. Watt, because I know Watt would always have like that RoboCop arm. So I didn't know.
Well, Watt had an elbow injury. I mean, who knows? Seeing all these other defensive linemen, he had the triceps tear like everybody else this season. Like that's the injury du jour for at least for the Eagles. But yeah, he had something and he's just reinforcing it. Sometimes they get ligament injuries. Some of these are not treated surgically. You just brace it in lieu of having an operation.
Fair. Sean, any players you want Doc to expound upon?
I mean, that pretty much covered every major one that I had on my mind, Doc. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, we put our long snapper on IR. We put another edge rusher on IR. We've talked a lot about tricep injuries. I mean, he's likely done for the year.
Yeah. I think they've learned their lesson. Let him rehab, let him recover,
Good point.
and then bring him back.
It's a shame. Well, at least Cal Adamitis has been signed to the active roster, long snapper Charlie Hewlett from
the University of Central Florida.
is placed on IR. Who knows what happened to him? And I'm sorry to tell you, but who cares? Hope that he's well. Wish him the best in recovery and everything. Let's talk a little Phils. And with that, I'm sticking with you, Doc. Trey Turner went out, played the last game of the season. Obviously, you're not going to put him out there unless you're fairly confident that it's not going to be anything detrimental to his recovery and everything. Is this extra week? I know they're playing an inter-squad game. Unfortunately, I worked the day, or it was going to be a really fun game to go to, all to help charity and everything. So if you're going out there, would love to tag us in some pictures and videos. It's going to be a really cool time. So they're going to go out there, play a lot of simulated games. I'm sure get a ton of live BP, live at-bats, running around the field and everything. You feel, where's your head at heading into this NLDS with Trey Turner specifically in his hamstring?
I feel good. I think, like we talked about, I think they were holding him back purposely because they were fortunate enough to get wins without him. So, and I think I kind of mentioned that I think they were going to put him in a little bit in this last series just to kind of get his sea legs back. That was not anticipating this, but I think it was good that he got some at-bats, got to play the field. And I think that's a great sign. I think he's going to be fine. I really do. I think it's nice that he had Sunday and now he has Wednesday to kind of as a final tune-up. Because like you mentioned, there's no minor league to kind of do that. So this is perfect. And I think this is an instance where having that series off pays dividends.
Oh, for sure. For sure. And then real quick, I meant to ask this before we switched over to the Phils. We're talking a lot about Jalen Hurts and this possible concussion. You said you were watching it and you were surprised that the independent neurologist didn't at least take him out for a play or two just to kind of talk to him and everything. But then we also mentioned that real feel of 103 degrees and just the strain that puts on a player when they're playing just such a long game and it's only getting hotter. if you were a betting man and you had to say, hey, I would probably lean more into heat exhaustion or concussion or a little combination of both, where would you kind of say if you were on the sideline, independent, not neurologist, but an independent doctor, seeing what you saw from the first half to the second half following possibly that hit?
Well, it definitely looked like a different player, and I think the heat definitely is a factor in that. I think the anxiety of playing that opponent affects too. But you bang your head and it's hot, it's hard to recover. So I think he was foggy. I mean, I honestly, you watch his play and you're like, man, if that game was 5 minutes longer, it would have been a problem. So I think that a lot of this is a bad combination. But I think there was definitely a component. There was a concussion type effect for what happened.
Yeah. Well, hopefully, obviously, if it was something real serious, they would have taken him out. Hopefully it's, nothing comes out that he has to be, cleared.
Well, he's not in protocol now.
Exactly.
Yeah, so
hoping that doesn't change. And obviously that it doesn't change because he isn't concussed. Like, obviously, right. I'm hoping it's not like, oh, I hope they don't catch it. Like I'm saying, I hope that he's not concussed.
Right.
This episode's brought to you by Delaware Orthopedic Specialists. Dr. Mesa has been with the pod for a couple of years now, and he has provided some incredible insight when it comes to Eagles, Flyers, Sixers, Phillies, and it's only getting better from here. Obviously, we're hoping for a very healthy season and that we don't need to hear his injury updates as often as we're inevitably going to, but at least you know where to go to hear the best updates. And now you know where to go when you try to be a weekend warrior and end up being on the injury list yourself. Delaware Orthopedic Specialists, locations all throughout the first state. They are the only fellowship-trained surgery center here in the state of Delaware, so really, why would you trust anyone other than a specialist? You hear his expertise here on the pod. Now let his expertise at the table and all of the providers there work wonders on whatever injury or illness you have. Head on over to delortho.com or give him a call, 302-655-9494. Don't trust anyone other than a specialist. Sean, we're talking a lot about Trey Turner, his return and everything. Harrison Bader has been just a miracle acquisition at the trade deadline. And he looked great on the team for a majority of it, and he looked unstoppable as a leadoff batter towards the end of the season. Trey Turner won the batting title, first time since, I think, 58 that a Philly has won the batting title. It's also the lowest average of a batting title win, possibly ever. I don't know. Extremely low. Either way, Trey Turner, incredible year. Harrison Bader, incredibly hot. You're Rob Thompson. Who's leading off?
I got to tell you, man, I've been really excited about the postseason because it feels like this last 5-6 weeks, it doesn't matter where anybody bats. This team feels like it's been hitting. Anybody that has gone through cold spells has spelled that cold spell and has been playing pretty good as of late, right?
COLDSPELL. Spelled it.
So, I probably rolled Trey Turner out right at leadoff. And quite frankly, I put Bader in somewhere, anywhere. I don't know. I couldn't even tell you what the lineup should be right now because it feels like it doesn't even matter, right? We had Casty over in the 7th spot, and we had him in the 4 hole. It doesn't really matter. Everybody's been hitting, right? Sosa had 12 games off consecutively, comes back, hits 3 dingers back to back to back. Get the hell out of here. This team, I feel fantastic about it. I don't care. Just put them out on the field. Let them do their damn thing. Let's go. Red October, baby.
Hell yeah. We talked about it, 2 years ago? Yeah, it was 2 years ago, Coach, when we were talking about, why are we having this batter bat 7th when they're so hot? And we had talked then, it's so that there's no part of the lineup where the opposing pitcher can feel like, I can take a breath. I got through 5. This is where I can possibly get another inning and a third, maybe 2 out of it. And we'll see what we can do from there, give my chance the team to recover. I mean, to Sean's point, I don't care where you play Bone, but he's your best hitter right now. Since he's returned, he's batting over 500. I mean, I don't care where you put Stott, but he's clutch right now. It's just, you got all these guys out there, and then you bring up Casty. I don't want to bring it down. Is he starting?
I don't know. Everybody else has lifted themselves up so much. It's you're looking at the numbers for a guy like Kepler, and you're going, man, for a guy, we feel like we've dogged him for 140 games.
We did.
His final stat line looking
did.
pretty good out there, man. I don't know. It really just feels like that Bader acquisition lifted everybody. It's really just a case of like a rising tide raises all ships, man. Because like even Casty at some point, like the last month or so, has been playing pretty damn well. Like everybody's like, hey, it's playoff time. It's time to really like pick it up. Right. Yeah. And again, I don't really care where these guys go. You talk about having a starter pitch another, top half of an inning. There's no time for you to bring in some sort of like half-assed reliever. You got to bring your A game. It feels like every single game, or else you're going to get burnt. Right. Yeah. There's no half inning you can take off and bring one of these guys in so your A team can catch a break, man. You're going to get smacked up from 1 through 9 here, man. I'm so freaking pumped. It feels like I haven't talked Phillies on this show in a month.
Hell yeah. Echo the same sentiment, gentlemen. Just put them out there wherever they feel comfortable. Let the boys eat.
I think you defer to Trey and just say, Trey, where do you feel most comfortable hitting at leadoff? And if he says yes, you go, okay, I'll figure out the rest. Cool. Trey, are you cool? And if he says, let Bader go first, I'll go second. Cool. I think you just start with Trey because he's obviously one of your best players. He's your fastest player. He won the batting title, like you just said. I think you just say, Trey, where do you want to hit? Where are you most comfortable? And whatever he says, you just let the rest fall in. Because it seems like Bader doesn't care where he hits, right? Like he's just one of those
here to show his ass, baby. Bader's
like
here to
he's
show
one of those
his
guys
ass,
that shows up to the park
pop
and
some zins, and to just you talk about a vibes guy, but actually is like smacking the leather off the ball. Man, here's your vibes guy, man. Put his playlist on. Let's play that funky music, man. Let's go.
He seems like one of those guys that just shows up to the park to watch ball, and then someone's like, I need one more. He's like, I got my cleats and glove in the car. Like, I'm ready. Where do you want me to play? Pitcher, catcher, outfield, bat first, bat cleanup? I'm ready. And I think you need guys like that, right? So I really think you just ask Trey and Bader. He seems like a psycho in a good way. So it's like, where you want me? I'm gonna play well.
All right. So yeah, we've already covered, is Cassie starting? Who knows? Is Trey leading off? Who cares? And now we're getting into the meat and potatoes of it. Other side of the ball. Who's your 3 pitchers? We know 2 of them. We know it's Sanchez and Suarez. I mean, that's who it's gonna
be. Know who it's gonna be.
I think Sean's right, and I hate it.
You can't.
Come on, his last start of the season, he was gonna go 8 innings, scoreless, for everybody to like shut the door on it. Oh, I cannot wait for him to pitch 5 innings scoreless, and in the 6th get freaking rocked. Oh, I hate how badly. How pessimistic I am towards Nola. To anybody who hasn't gotten it yet, it's Aaron Nola that we're referring to.
So let me ask you guys this. And we're all on the same page here, I think, for the first 2, right? Sanchez, Ranger, right? Can we all agree on that? Do you see any world where Rob Thompson trots out 3 lefties in a row? Let's just say that Luzardo is who we're thinking of at the 3rd spot. You're telling me he goes 3 straight games with 3 straight lefties on the mound?
No,
I don't think he does. I think there's a damn good case, as rare as it may be to push it forward. I think there's a pretty good case that you should.
Does it depend what type of team you play? Because like Doc's point, if we play the Dodgers, if you got Shohei and Freddie are your lefties, I think in a series like that, you could do it, right? Because you do that. But if you got a team that is righty dominant, you probably got to throw a right-hander in there to mix that up.
Let me throw this out there. Is there any world in which you put all 4 of them, but you have Nola listed as a bullpen guy?
I think Walker Buehler might be the bullpen guy if that was the case.
Yeah, I mean, but Walker Buehler is going to be in the bullpen. He's already going to be in the bullpen.
I don't trust Nola outside of his routine.
He's not going to be your starter.
Nola messing with his routine of not starting and having to come out of the bullpen, that just sounds like damage.
No. You only would use him if he started a game, but you sneak him in there to say, hey, we'll kind of go on it. No matter what, you'd be our 3. We're going to kind of see how they do against our first 2 lefties. We have Luzardo here if we need him. We've got Nola here if we need him. we can kind of play it by ear and announce that third starter based on how other teams have been hitting our left-handed pitchers. We can go either direction. But if you don't go with him, if you say, nope, we're sticking with Luzardo, yeah, obviously you don't use him out of the pen because that's a complete unknown. But you have that ability to say, hey, we got 2 games to either build up a big series lead and dominate them and say, yup, they can't touch our lefties. Let's keep them coming. Or to say, all right, they're doing a little bit better than we thought. Let's go ahead and put Nola out there. And obviously he has a short leash, but you see there. But I think that's a real scenario that I might consider. I'm saying that like I have any say.
I don't think he's got a short leash. I think they're going to go out there just like anybody else. You know, they're going to put Luzardo into the pen. Like, what is it? Is his first time making the freaking playoffs? Like, he's a kid. They're going to put him into the pen. It's more like I'm very curious to see how they split all this up because they clearly brought Buehler in for a reason, right? He's pitched fantastic in the playoffs, right? So, like, it doesn't look like he's going to start him. Is he going to start him? I have no idea. We have a surplus.
Is he your third starter?
I don't know.
Yes.
Like, he very well could. At this point, he's pitched up until this point better than Nola.
Yeah.
Right.
Doc, you're going Buehler as third?
Yeah, if you got to go a righty, that's who I trust.
I like it.
I know.
I've been on the show a million times saying that I could be the manager of the Phillies. This is one decision I just don't want to be a part of.
No, but it's not even like why? It's not that hard. Nola should not be a starting pitcher in the postseason this year.
But we've also seen Luzardo be the best pitcher you've ever seen and the worst pitcher you've ever seen. Yeah. We've also seen
Luzardo over 2/3 of the time he gives you a quality start.
But I still think there's that lefty problem. I still think that's somewhat of an issue.
Then go with Buehler.
But who are you playing? Like,
that's a good point too.
The Dodgers don't hit lefties that great. So
that's a great point.
I mean, I don't know. I think with the Dodgers, I do it. The Reds, who the hell knows if we play the Reds? But I mean, I don't know what to do for them. But I think you could go lefty. I mean, again, you see how the series goes. But
well, how about this? Does it also matter if you're home or away? Because I think I would never want Nola on the road. I don't want Nola pitching in LA. Like if I have to make that decision, I probably split it up to where Nola is at Citizens Bank Park, regardless of what game it is, if that makes sense.
So that would be the clinching game.
You see, Jake, how you scratching your head? That's why I don't want to make this decision because I can't.
Your scenario involves Nola. My scenario does not.
But I'm thinking like
it is not a difficult decision for me because he is taken out of the equation. I mean, you got to solve for why. Get rid of why. Because
so tell me what Rob does. I'm not asking what Jake does.
Why?
I'm not asking what Jake does. What does Rob do? What do you think Rob will do?
Oh, and that's
Nola.
Of course, Rob's picking Aaron Nola. Are you kidding me?
That's what I'm saying.
The softest manager in Major League Baseball. Of course. Are you? Stop. We're saying this. Aaron Nola is going to be your third playoff starter because that's
a road game, correct?
Yes.
It doesn't matter. It's Rob Thompson.
It would be in LA.
But I can't have
Bransky's going to be talking to him before the game. Oh, hey, Rob, what do you think? Well, Aaron, he's been in the organization for a long time. He has a ton of success. I mean, you all saw what he can do in the postseason. He's just a completely different player when the lights come on. Home, away, day, night, really doesn't matter. The guy just shows up. I mean, you saw really like what we saw out of him at the end of the season. He touched 94 multiple times. You don't see that kind of velocity out of this Aaron Nola guy for many different things. So you can tell he's getting amped up for this opportunity. So we just had to go ahead and pick him. He's a clear-cut guy. He's shown it over the course of his career. If anything does happen, we trust our bullpen to get us out of a jam, but it's Aaron Nola all day. That's Rob Thompson. You're welcome, everybody. We had Rob Thompson on the podcast.
Again, I almost don't want to think about it. I think you need to be up 2-0 if you start Nola game 3.
I'll give you something to think about. Jordan Romano.
No, I'm not thinking.
That's not
no world that he's on the postseason roster, correct?
No.
Activated off the 15-day IL today. No world he's making the roster.
I trust Taiwan more out of the pen.
100%. That's not even close.
Yeah.
No, I think they did that so that they could just get rid of his key card access. So they can't get into the facility anymore.
Yeah. I trust Garrett Stubbs out of the pen more than I do Jordan Romano.
Yeah, we talk about Nola throwing hangers. I've never seen a hanger like Romano. When Romano misses, it's middle off a tee.
For 162 games this season, man, you kept thinking maybe he was going to come around, and he just didn't. He was just through batting practice for 6 months straight.
He had a ERA of like 13.7 in 1 month. I don't know what month it was, but it was 13.7. And that I stared at that number because I was like, that's not – maybe they mean 7.
I think it was August.
Maybe they mean 7 runs because 7 is terrible too. And no, it was double that.
And like as a reliever, it works both ways. Like you have one bad outing, it can really skew it. If you have one good outing, same thing goes. Like you pitch so few innings that if you throw together 2 consecutive innings of good baseball, your ERA plummets. That just shows he didn't throw a single inning together through that entire month. He was dog shit the entire month of August.
Well, we just activated him off the IL. I don't know if you saw that.
Oh, that's what I read. Yeah.
I don't know when rosters have to be in for teams that have buys, like when you have to announce that, but it worries me a lot.
Yeah, but Jose Alvarado was activated as well just to be put on the ineligible list.
Yeah.
Like you had to activate them because they were healthy. Like I don't look too much into it. They're just healthy, so they're active, but they're not going to be postseason active.
And looking back on this season, how much of a disappointment was Andrew Painter to not even get one opportunity to be called up this year? He struggled all year.
He straight up played.
We also talked about right when we had needed, right when we had talked about the potential of him coming up was when we were going through a stretch of starting pitching like nothing we'd ever seen. I mean, we were having some incredibly hot starting pitchers through that stretch. And even when Wheeler goes down, we had already kind of had a 6-man rotation at that point, and it was somewhere where it was like, hey, you don't have to. He's not playing great. Let's not stun him. But I'm not quite yet there to say, what a disappointment he was. Definitely not what we expected. But we're going to have the
top tier disappointment.
Top tier.
Absolutely. I mean, this guy's been crowned for the last 3 seasons, man. What is he, 26 this year? 27? He's not some
No,
spring.
He's not. Are you
No,
kidding
he's
me?
23.
Maybe he might be 22.
I think he's 25.
He's 22 years old.
Well, then we're all wrong, Jake.
No, I said he was 22.
I just think he was a colossal. Listen, maybe we're just wrong to have high expectations. This guy was supposed to be fighting for a 5th starting pitching spot, and he couldn't get out of 4 innings without giving up 5 earned in AAA.
But no, we're numb. As Phillies fans, we're numb to prospect hugging because me and Sean joke about it all the time. Griff McGarry was supposed to be the next Nolan Ryan, and Mick Abel was supposed to be the next. You know what I'm saying? This.
We all saw Mick Abel against the Phils. Don't.
Anybody that plays, any former Philly that plays against the Phillies turns into the best baseball player of all time. But yeah, and it's just, do we overhype our own prospects?
Everybody does, but it felt like this is the one time where maybe the hype was warranted.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert: up until now, it was not.
Very true. Very true. Who do you trust most at the plate right now, and why is it Alec Bohm?
Oh, man. I'll go Bader.
Is it Bohm? Is it Bader? Is it?
It's Bohm. I mean, I love
it. Honestly, it's been Bohm ever since the All-Star game. Whenever he's healthy.
When he's on the field, Bohm has been incredible.
Here's a stat for you. Brandon Marsh had the 2nd best turnaround in batting average pre-All-Star to post-All-Star break in Major League Baseball history. From batting 090 to 280. I mean, 2nd largest. What do you call it?
Marsh was not 090 before the break.
090.
Please hold.
Marsh, no way he was 090. We would have talked about that a lot.
Please hold. Talk amongst yourselves. I'll find it.
Holding. No, and but to your point, I mean, you're saying that's impressive. Baseball is a relatively new sport; it hasn't been around all that long, so it's not that impressive. But no, I mean, we would have talked about that for months if he was batting 090 in
Was
July.
he batting 190 maybe?
Yeah,
You
And it's
want to know what he batted in
90
April?
difference.
You want to know what he batted in April? Does anybody know?
I don't know. Enlighten us.
.000.
Did he play?
He
Coach.
did. You want to know what he batted in September? This might have been the thing I was talking about. You want to know what he batted in September?
Yes,
800.
That's okay.
Co-
Could have been better.
Are you talking about his OPS?
No, I'm talking about his average.
This is awful radio.
I'm sending this to you guys right now. You guys are pissing me off. I just sent it.
I'm literally looking at first half of the season. His
No.
batting average was 259. Second half of the season, his batting average was 302.
Look at what I just sent in the group chat.
I'm just saying. You said post All-Star break to or pre All-Star to post All-Star. Heading into the All-Star game, he was batting.
April is pre All-Star.
How many games did he play in April? Did Marsh miss April?
Hey, Sean, do you remember the game where he went hitless and the next game he batted 5 for 5? That's the greatest comeback in baseball history.
It is.
Nobody's ever gone 0 for 5 in one game and 5 for 5 in the next. Actually, that might be true. But
I need you to look at the tweet I sent.
I'm looking.
because-
Oh, Devin Caney. Yeah, she's reliable.
Oh, she made it up. She just made up everything here.
Don't you speak down on Devin Caney. How dare you? She's a lovely lady.
Yeah, oh, she's great. Okay, so you're.
I don't know what that. I don't know where she got those.
I may have misspoke about the pre All-Star average.
Yes, he was hitless in April. And then May, he batted 300. June, he batted 324. July, 271. August, 284. September, 800. Yeah, like.
Hold on.
He was great for 85% of the season, is essentially what you're telling us.
Oh, it was the first 20 games of the season. He batted .095. The first 20 games.
Thanks, Coach.
There's some type of fucking stat here.
There's some
Appreciate it,
stats in
Coach.
there for sure. Are you picking Marsh for your go-to hitter in a tough spot? I don't even. Was that the question? I don't even know the
Are
question.
you able to diagnose concussions on StreamYard?
This is one of the symptoms. Clearly,
I have a tweet here from Talking 215. Y'all ever heard of them?
No, they're frauds.
You definitely have a concussion.
With that strikeout, Brandon Marsh's average has now dropped below 100.
how many fingers?
Yeah, how many fingers?
7.
Oh.
Yes.
Anyway,
0.
Dan, go ahead and edit that out and just
No, we're leaving that. We're leaving that puppy in there. Great radio.
Brandon Marsh never had a hit in his life and then had 38 straight hits.
Final
Whatever.
thought, Phil's in 3. Birds 5-0, Phil's in 3.
Oh, Birds 5-0, Phil's in 3, baby. Let's go.
Phil's in 5.
Oh, just because you have Dean 5 tickets.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah. Also, speaking of which, anybody listen out there, if you get a little nervous, it comes down to a clutch game and all, Sean and I are undefeated in games we attend together. And this isn't your friend Johnny who's telling you, I've been to 3 games this year and they haven't lost. I'm talking 15-0. I mean, 3 games is a fluke. 15 games is a legend. I don't know, but if you really want to guarantee a win,
do those include playoff games?
If they do,
yes,
they include
Phillies
World
playoff
Series games.
Oh,
Yeah. There's 3 or 4 in a row that are playoff games.
wow.
Yeah.
Now that's a streak.
Yeah, and that's multi-sport. Eagles, Phillies, and that's
Flyers.
No, Eagles. And Phillies. We have not gone to a Flyers game together. We have not gone to a Sixers game.
Haven't been alive for too many Flyers postseason games.
No, but we're just talking games in general. That's why we don't go because we don't want our streak to end.
That's good. That's a good point.
5-0 Birds, Phil's in 3. That's it.